I've done this before, and even though we aren't done today's games yet, I thought it was worth taking a look at this again. In black are the numbers that teams had as of January 1st, so before January 1st games. In blue are the numbers that teams have right now, and in pink is the numbers since the first of the year. And then I rated each conference according to how well teams have been playing since the 1st of January of this year. The reason I do that is because, power rankings, people are always like, yeah, but this team's in this place, so why are they so low? Or this team's in this place, why are they so high? It's because power rankings measure how a team's playing right now. Look at the Atlantic first off. Boston's been the best team in the East with 61 points. Tampa's been 5th with 50 points. Toronto's been 3rd with 53. So Toronto's gained 3 points on Tampa. Boston's gained 11 since the first of the year. Right now, as I'm recording this, is 2-1 Philly after the second period. So odds are Boston probably doesn't come back and win that game. So they'll maintain that 11 points. Washington has been the 8th best team since the first of the year, with a 46-point record. 55 points for Pittsburgh means they've been the 2nd best team since the first of the year. Yeah, since January 1st, they've been the 2nd best team in the East. Columbus, basically the same. They've been 6th the whole way through. They had 47 points on January 1st. They got 47 points since then in one less game. So, hooray for consistency, I guess. Philly has been the 4th best team in the East since the 1st of January, and it looks like they might put up a couple more points today. They're currently at 92, but they've had 52 since January 1st. Jersey has 41 points since the first of the year, so they've lost 11 points on Philly, and they've been the 9th best team in the East. Florida, 22-14-3 since the 1st of January, 47 points. They've been the 7th best team in the East. Still going to miss the playoffs because they had 39 points. They had too many points to make up on everybody. Carolina had 43 points. They've had 38 since. They're 10th best in the East. New York Rangers, 47 points. They've had 30 since then. They've been 15th best in the East. And the Islanders, 12 wins since the 1st of January. They've had the same number of points as the Rangers. I've been watching as these teams have stayed pretty much at the same point. The Rangers were 3 points ahead of them January 1st. They're 3 points ahead of them now. In wins, there's a 2-win difference between the two teams. It's been just a bad year for those two teams. Detroit falls right off the map. They've been 11th in the East since January 1st, but it's been quite a crash over the last month, hasn't it? Montreal's 14th best with 32 points since January 1st. The Ottawa Senators, 33 points, which is one more than they had at January 1st, 32, so 65 altogether. And Buffalo, if you think they've been getting better, you're right. They're 15-21-3 since the 1st of January, which is 12th best in the East. So they're ahead of New York, Rangers, or the Islanders, the Rangers, Ottawa, Montreal, and yeah, all right, 13, 14, 15, 16, right, okay, yeah. So they've been ahead of 4 teams since January 1st. Now you look out west, the best team in the West since January 1st is Nashville with 60 points. They're 1 behind Boston for the most in the entire league since January 1st. Second has been Winnipeg with 54. So if you've been thinking, wow, Winnipeg's been playing really well but not gaining any ground, you're right. The 3rd best in the West has actually been San Jose with 54 points as well, but less wins than Winnipeg, so I dropped them down to 3rd. 4th is Vegas with 53 points. So since January 1st, San Jose's got 1 point closer to Vegas. So it looks like this huge gap between the two teams. Really, it hasn't been. The 5th best team in the West has been Minnesota with 53 points. And again, Minnesota went on this incredible run. And it's likely the reason they make the playoffs, because they only had 43 points on January 1st. They were down in amongst these teams. There was maybe they make it, maybe they don't. The 6th best team, Colorado, with 51 points. So fantastic run for Colorado. 7th best, also with 51 points, is Anaheim. But they have one less win in that period of time than do the... Nope, that should be 49. That should be 49 points. Okay, I fixed it. 49 points for Anaheim. That still leaves them in 7th in their conference. 8th place in the conference is Arizona. And this is part of the reason I'm doing this, because like Arizona's had a good record since the first of the year. 19, 13, and 6, 44 points. They've been the 8th best team in the West since January 1st. 9th, the Kings with 43 points. The Kings have been just skirting along. They've been 20 wins and 20 losses if you count overtime and shootout losses as losses. And LA's been just skirting along. And because they had 51 points, they had a 7-point bulge on San Jose, which is gone. They had a 7-point bulge as well on Anaheim. And now that's only a 1-point lead. And they're lucky that Calgary's fallen off the map. We get down to 10th place. That'd be the Blues with 42 points. They had 50 on January 1st. So they've fallen back. Everybody knows that. 11th, Dallas, of course, with 41 points since. Had 47 points at January 1st. Calgary, 40 points. They've fallen way off. Edmonton, 37. So they're 13th best since January 1st. Vancouver's 14th best with 32 points. And they only come in ahead of Chicago because they've played one less game. Same amount of points, same amount of wins, but one less game played for Vancouver. So they finish ahead of Chicago just by a hair. So there you go. That's how teams have been since the 1st of January. And I kind of look at this too as who's playing really well going into the playoffs. Who are the teams to look out for going into the playoffs? Pittsburgh, Boston, Toronto, and this is where it gets tricky because Toronto, and I would still say even though Tampa's been cooler lately, they're still a pretty darn good looking team going into the playoffs. And out west, of course, Nashville and Winnipeg are playing the best hockey in the West. Almost in the league, yeah. So overall, you got Boston at 61, then Nashville at 60, then you've got Pittsburgh at 55, and Winnipeg at 54. So pick your poison. And of course, close behind, San Jose and Vegas. It's a close race. But I really think that the teams that are playing really well going into the playoffs do have the better chance. I know there's those underdogs that come out of nowhere. Maybe they back their way into the playoffs that get somewhere. But for the most part, the team that's playing well going into the playoffs usually has something going. And it can be really hard for the team that isn't as playing well going into the playoffs to overcome that. Anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And just to kind of give some perspective, I'm not going to argue about where certain teams are in the power rankings. Just point out, some of the lesser lights, some of the teams that are at the bottom of the league, have not been playing really badly lately. They just had such an awful start to the season. Phoenix, Arizona with 9 wins, Buffalo with 10, and that did it for them. There was no coming back from that. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.